Hello, my name's Charlie Morris, and it's my pleasure to have Saar Levi, who's the CEO and co-founder of Cedex, a diamond trading platform. Hello, how are you?
Hi, Charlie. It's nice to be here. Thank you.
So first things first, we're going to talk about your diamond trading platform that's just launched in the last few days. It's very exciting times. You think that diamonds are a new asset class, not just an interesting diversifying asset. And we're going to talk about how it fits in with blockchain, the technology you've built, and all the rest of it. I interviewed the Asaf, your CEO of your holding company, Tech Financials, a year ago. So it's interesting to have an update. And I think he said he was going to launch in Q4 2018, and here we are in Q4 2018, and you've done it. So yes. Congratulations to that. So tell me, tell me about yourself first of all.
Well, I'm coming from financial markets. Most of my career was in New York. I worked for Lehman Brothers, Barclays, and later on in Intesa Sanpaolo and Banca IMI. I'm an ETF trader in my existence. I built strategies for ETF. And Cedex is a financial project, so I'm very happy to head that project.
There are a lot of similarities, really, taking an asset and putting it into some sort of trading environment that wasn't naturally there. And I remember, the gold ETF was really a big breakthrough in fintech, really.
Correct.
Because it was deemed to be impossible for years to be able to accurately trade gold. So you want to do that with diamonds. So we're going to come to that. But what's really, what's the innovations that you made in the ETF market whilst you were there? You said you designed strategies and so forth. What sort of things did you do?
Well, back in those days, I was looking to how to actually create an arbitrage between the underlying assets and the ETFs themselves and create value between the underlying and the ETFs, looking to create a portfolio that will allow us as a ETF shop in Lehman Brothers to offer our clients that were looking to short ETFs to create a long position and being a shop for borrowing ETFs from us. So it was on the lending borrow and the security lending arena.
The hilarious thing about when you short an ETF is you get paid the management fee, don't you?
Yes.
Which I think I always thought was quite amusing. But a huge area and very profitable at the time. But that's obviously the profitability of that industry is it's grown massively. But there's so many people doing it now that it's not as juicy as it was. Is that correct? Yeah.
Well, definitely in Cedex, we're looking for innovation. We're looking to tap into markets that were untapped. And this is where we are today. We definitely recognize diamond as a new commodity, as a new potential commodity if you can overcome the barriers that commodity had. Because, I've been asked many times, what is the downside of Cedex? What's your weakness? And I always say, our weakness is because people tried to do it before and failed. And this is for the first time, I think, showing this with our new platform, we have succeeded to actually overcome the barriers of turning diamonds into commodity.
So let's just go back to some of the failures in the diamond market. I'm not saying yours is going to fail. I hope it succeeds. But I remember Diamond Circle was a closed-ended fund that was listed, pre-crisis, and it was traded, I think, at a 50% discount to its net asset value. So the stock market didn't like to fairly value diamonds. One of the problems was no one really understood what a diamond was worth. So we're going to talk about your algo. And then there's been numerous attempts to launch futures contracts, including by a good friend of mine. And I said it was a very difficult thing to do. But you believe you can overcome all these problems. So let's move on to the DEX algo, which sits behind your system. So why can you value diamonds?
Well, I think you mentioned the failures in the market, and it's very important maybe to emphasize for a second, why wasn't it possible to do it before? Coming from ETF business and derivatives, one thing is for sure, one thing we understood. You cannot create a derivative if the underlying asset is not liquid. The derivative will never be liquid. If you cannot create transparency on the underlying asset, there will not be transparency in the derivative itself. So we decided we're heading and trying to solve the problem of the underlying asset, and that's the diamond itself. And this is where DEX comes in place. We created an algorithm that takes the gem composite, the gemological composition of a diamond, and actually gives its value, calculates what's the value of that gemological. So we calculate what is a diamond of a perfect diamond. So if a perfect diamond is 100%, what will be the actual diamond that is held right now? What is the gemological relatively to 100% of that diamond? Yeah. Then we take a lot of data, 20 years back of data, plus live data from over 1,000 of suppliers of diamonds, and that parallel pricing information data, we compile it in, and we're able to actually give you an accurate, fair value price of a diamond. So we broken the transparency barrier by creating the DEX. Now, once
Can I ask, how many factors go into the algorithm?
into just on the gemological, it's about 20 factor into gemological
And that's
composition.
shininess, loveliness, beautifulness.
Exactly.
Stuff like that.
The GIA, it's the most credible lab that we work with. We work only with the GIA, gives us a report. So each diamond goes for a full verification, and only then we can actually estimate what is the market value of that diamond.
Sure. So if you've got a perfect diamond that's 100%, whatever that means, and you've got an imperfect diamond that's 50%, those prices aren't linear, are they? They can...
No, it's a very complex.
How do you deal with that?
Well, that's exactly why we create. The DEX is a sophisticated machine learning algorithm that all the time compiles the different weights of each of those components into the diamond and allows us to create the actual pricing of that diamond. Now, we do not price the diamond, but what we do is evaluate your ask price versus the estimated market price.
Right. So you have a sort of benchmark price, and it's a sort of percentage of benchmark, as
and
it
it's
were.
a live pricing. It's live. It's updated all the time. But the beauty of it for investor, we do not. If you look at our platform, we do not sort the diamonds by their price because the price doesn't have any value. What's important is what is that price relatively to the fair market price.
Yes.
So the DEX allows.
So you're trying to express a fundamental of how that diamond differs from that diamond.
We try to actually calculate the value, not the price, but the value.
Sure.
So what we do is, if you look on our platform,
Value is what the price should be. Price is what it is. Yeah.
So if you're asking below market price, your offer is a great value for an investor. So your diamond will be rated by DEX as a very high score and will be on the top of your list. If you're asking above market price, you're not giving much value to an investor, so your DEX score is going to be very low and you'll be rated very low. So
if I'm an experienced diamond dealer in Antwerp, which I'm not, but imagine I was, and I've been doing it for 50 years, can I game your system?
I will say this, you don't have any advantage on an irregular investor by being an experienced diamondeer, because our system takes that value and doesn't require from you any expertise in understanding diamonds. But what we do is we actually give the investor the real value of that investment. So you do not have to be an expert at diamond. You actually don't have to understand anything. And this is why I'm not a diamondeer. I'm a financial guy, and I'm running the company.
And so to get to the point, you're saying that diamond is not just a commodity, but it's an asset class because you've got really good ones, the sort of dust on this side, and some of them are very volatile, some of them are very stable. So you're bringing this whole thing to life.
We believe that diamonds can become an even better asset class than gold that is very, very liquid. And the reason for that is two. First of all, diamond the value of diamond, if you invest in a diamond versus gold, your custodianships on gold, or what we called in our language the carry of gold, is going to be much more expensive because diamond is a small asset. $1 million worth of diamond.
So it's cheaper to store. But let's face it, gold's not very expensive to store. I mean, outside of the ETF world, you can do it for a few basis points. So
but on top of that, and this is another important thing, us as people coming from financial market, when you invest in an asset class, you want to invest in a risk profile that is suited for you.
But the diamond market could never have the liquidity that the gold market does.
Well, this is our challenge. Once we create a fungible, and the DEX allows us to create diamond as a fungible asset. So once we create a fungible asset, once we create the full transparency that we already have done.
That can't be gamed by Antwerp.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It can't. Because if you charge too much, your DEX score is going to be way low and you're not going to hit even the screen. And the last thing is important is the risk profile of that diamond. When you invest in diamond, you can invest in a 1-carat diamond that's a very conservative, solid investment, or you can invest in a fancy colored diamond that is very volatile. And between these two, you can create many interesting products in the future, like ETF, basket trading, category trading, that will compile different weightings of those.
I hear you. So I think that the bottom line here, and we've only got a few minutes left, so I want to get to the Cedex platform and talk a little bit about that. But basically, it's going to be hugely successful if you manage these challenges of turning diamonds into a liquid asset class using the blockchain world.
Well, we believe this is a market that's anywhere between $300 to $400 billion if we're able to do what we did, and we've proven it. I mean, right now you can go on Cedex.com live and see we have over 3,000 diamonds there for sale.
Yeah, and there it is behind you. I'm actually
Yeah.
pointing at a green screen, so it looks a bit strange, but apparently it's there somewhere.
But in that screen, you can see that all the diamonds are sorted by DEX. So you as an investor, you don't have to understand. You can go in. The top of the line is the best value deal for you in that category, meaning that's the lowest ask price relatively to the fair value price of that diamond.
So you did an ICO for Cedex. You raised $20 million a year ago. How much have you spent so far?
We spent about $5 million to actually bring the platform to life. Behind this platform, there's a huge logistic operation because in the end of the day, we take all these diamonds into custodian. They are held there, and we create digital representation or digital diamond digital certificate that these are these are the assets that are traded between the buyer and seller, unless a buyer decides that he wants to retrieve the diamond back to his office, to his house, and he can press a physical delivery, and the process will create a delisting, and he will receive the diamond.
And this is all about blockchain. Everything's recorded there.
The ability to do this was blockchain because, in the end of the day, we take a physical asset and we give it financial representation. That financial representation, including transparency and historical data and ownership and all that data, is stored on the blockchain. So when you trade a diamond, basically, or you trade the DDC, the digital diamond certificate, that is your ownership. This is your certificate that represents the ownership of a diamond that might be sitting at Brinks or Malkamit and one of our custodian. And you can always retrieve it, and it's sealed and sit inside a box after it goes through verification. So you'll receive it to your office, sealed in a GIA box, never touched afterwards.
This is very much the spirit of blockchain, isn't it? Where you take something that's very secure on the internet and you blend it with a traditional asset, put them together, provide the provenance, all of those sorts of problems solved in one go, and your marketplace is potentially global.
Exactly.
And you walk around with your mobile phone and you own diamonds and stamps and paintings and whatever you want to own.
Exactly.
And how do you see the future of tokenization?
Well, the future of tokenization, and we see this in Cedex as well, we've basically took the biggest challenge on ourselves. When I'm saying the biggest challenge is that taking a non-fungible, non-transparent, and non-liquid asset and turning it to commodity. This is I would say this is for the extreme. Now, any other commodity, take it gold, precious metal, for us, we see these commodities tokenized and going on our system in the future. So I see Cedex as actually a store or a platform, a marketplace for all commodities to be tokenized and dealt. And you see it in financial markets. They all talk about the advantages. Tokenization allows you transparency, historical information, change of ownership.
This is the real point, because people look at this space and just look at the price of Bitcoin, and your holding company, Tech Financials TCH on AIM, their share price has correlated with the Bitcoin price, 6p to 32p at the top of the Bitcoin market, and then back down to 6p. Sounds good value right here, but actually, this world goes beyond Bitcoin, doesn't it? And you don't really mind what the Bitcoin price is long term. It doesn't affect your business.
Well, the beauty of Cedex is not only a cryptocurrency platform. Cedex opening in Q2 2019, we're opening it to fiat trading. So actually, our long-term vision, we are looking to become a platform for all commodity institutions that are trading. They'll be able to log in from their systems at their offices and actually trade into Cedex, and with using fiat, not only cryptocurrency. So we are bridging the gap between the cryptocurrency world and the fiat world, but we are totally open and transparent to the fiat world that will be able to trade on Cedex in just a couple of months from now.
Perfect. Well, Saar, Levi, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Charlie.
My name is Charlie Morris, CEO of ByteTree.com. Thank you for listening.